Hello everyone and welcome to Net Crypto, where you get important information and news about all coins and tokens of interest. And today we're taking a look at BTC20. So this is a project that we have already flagged as a scam, and today we are going to be IDing the scam, right? And we are going to be talking about what type of scam it is, some updates that are coming into the project today, and what that tells us about the future of BTC20. And us as investors, the reason why you are watching this is probably because you are invested into this project, or you're interested into it, or you want to invest into it, right? We know just because the project is a scam, it doesn't mean that you can't make money out of it, but you need to know certain types of information so that you reduce your risk as much as possible. So that is what this video is going to be about, right? So you do see this update coming out the time until next halving, which is 601 days, right? So a halving event is something that happens to the original Bitcoin every 4 years. The number of Bitcoin released to miners per block is reduced from 50, I believe it went to 25, and so on it goes, right? This helps to increase the scarcity of Bitcoin, thus increasing its value. So BTC20 is following the same process. But what is actually interesting about this one is, I don't know whether they got their math wrong, right? Because they are saying the first halving is going to be in 2025. It's supposed to be in 2027, right? If you are following through that that 4-year process, right? It's supposed to be in 2027. But anyway, right, that's something to note for you on the side, right? So now, what is important about this is we've already ID'd the scam for this one. We're going to be talking about that, right? You need to watch this video all the way to the end because it's going to be packed with tons of information that is of interest to you. The one thing is we're trying to actually ascertain what type of scam this is, right? So that as an investor, if we see a similar project in the future coming up, or a project with similar attributes, we know when it's safe to invest and when it's risky, right? It seems like this one, it's a long-term scam, right? It's not a short-term scam, like, for example, XRP20. XRP20, everyone is in the red right now. If you invested into this one, the price for listing was around 4092, right? Already is 55% down. It hasn't pumped like what we saw happening with BTC20. BTC20, soon after claim day, right, the price pumped, right, to almost $6. Then a lot of people were already, which was quite convenient for the people behind the project, because they knew a lot of people were staked, because they opened up staking before claiming. That was quite intentional, because a lot of people were trapped in staking, so they could not benefit from that pump, right? So if you wanted to participate in that pump, you had to put new liquidity in, and possibly now the price goes down. Some made a profit, but a huge number would not make a profit, right? So you need to actually ID the scam of the project. It's very important, right? So XRP20 is not a good project to invest in. First of all, it was infringing on trademark XRP, right? Obviously, if it becomes a huge project, no one would want to list this on their exchange, right? Because it's quite scammy. Companies can actually end up coming after XRP, Ripple might actually come going after those exchanges that list it. So this is not a good project to invest in. Same as ADA20, right? Cardano will actually come after any exchange that is going to list this one, right? And with Ethereum 20. Now Ethereum 20 is interesting, right? No one might actually come after them, because Ethereum and Bitcoin are more or less like the same thing, right? So now, going back into BTC20, the scam ID for BTC20 has to do with team tokens, right? This is something that we have spoken about. They just highlighted that 6,050,000 tokens were sold in the pre-sale, right? That's what they told everybody. 6,050,000. We don't actually know how many real investors purchased into this and how many tokens belong to the team. Some of you have said, I don't really care how many tokens the team has. I care as an investor, because that's where the risk is, right? Because according to the liquidity that we are seeing here, right, we have about 192,000, right? Of course, not everyone is going to participate in the DEX, providing liquidity and all that. Not everyone is going to do that. But out of 6 million, right, if they were real investors, we're going to be seeing way much higher liquidity than this, Of course, we do know that 4 million is into staking, but how many are the team tokens from there? We do not know, right? And some have come out and saying that, some of you have come out saying there is no one wallet with a huge number of tokens, right? But you have to understand, right, that these tokens can be spread out across multiple different wallets, right? But definitely the team has a lot of tokens, right? They have tons of tokens into this one. So they don't have transparency around how many tokens the team have because of this 192,000 US dollars. We can speculate that the team has got millions and millions of tokens, possibly upwards of around 5 million, right? Conservatively, maybe around 3 million, but I think around between 5 and 3 million. This is the number of tokens that the team actually has, right, into this project. So that creates a significant risk, right? Because if they were honest, they were going to say, BTC20, this is the wallet with the team tokens. This is the vesting process. The vesting process, by the way, is when tokens are released, right, to the team, right, for whatever their hard work and whatever that they are doing in the project. They'll say maybe at this date, this certain number of tokens are going to be released to the team, 25% for each vesting period or 13%, whatever it is. But there's nothing like that, which just leads us to believe that they've got a huge number of tokens. These tokens can drop at any time. Thus, the price can drop. But it seems like this project is a long-term scam. They don't want to do that. But that risk is always there. For example, if the adoption, right, for BTC20 slows down, we start to see a lot of investors are becoming less and less interested into it, right? They can just decide to dump their tokens at once, right? And just take the liquidity and move on to another scammy project, right? Because we already see multiple 20 projects, XRP 20, ADA 20, Ethereum 20, right? So now, when you see a project such as this one, right, when can you actually buy or decide to invest into it, right? You see that it's scammy, for example, BTC20. There's a scam aspect. We have already ID'd the scam. It has to do with team tokens investing. The risk here is a token dump, right? So when is it safe? For obviously, one of the rules that I'm going to have for myself for projects such as this one, right, is do not buy in the pre-sale, right? Don't buy in the pre-sale, because we have seen a lot of scammy things that has happened in the pre-sale. A lot of investors who bought in the pre-sale were not actually able to actually claim, right? Because you don't actually know where your money is going to when you buy in the pre-sale. That wallet or contract or whatever has not been shared with everyone, right? So they can decide to blacklist certain wallets that you've bought in the pre-sale, and when you try to claim, you can't, even though others can. They can blacklist certain wallets and all that. So to avoid all of that nonsense, you can just decide to not invest in the pre-sale. And once the launch has occurred, peruse the contracts, right? Check the contract for scammy features. There is a place like Go Plus Labs, right? It's a very decent website. Also, Taking Sniffer, you can use that. You don't need to be a blockchain expert, right? You can check for if there are any scammy features. And by the way, contract if the contract is renounced, that's one of the things that you need to check for, right? It's not necessarily a requirement for each and every project, because some projects, they cannot really renounce the contract because of the nature of the project, thing development that they need to do and all of that thing. So you need to evaluate these things for yourself, right? And one of the things that you need to evaluate is adoption, right? Do you see a decent amount of adoption in the near future? Right? Because there are tons and tons and tons of tokens being released out there. Is BTC20 going to be relevant within 6 months, within 1 year? Those are some of the questions you need to answer. And one of the ways you can do this is by checking their Twitter, growth of the Twitter, Telegram, any other social channels that they have. And also you can also check the holders here, right? Are they increasing, the holders? Also the volume, right? These are some of the things that you can check over a period of time, right? And there is a small window of opportunity for some of these for you to actually be able to make a profit. For example, when BTC20 was released, right, there was almost like a 36-hour period, right, 48, 72-hour period where if you had invested, you're going to benefit from that 5x pump that occurred. It was a very short window. Is it ever going to go back to $2 or $3, right? We just don't know at this stage. But it has come back to $1. This is a good thing. It shows that the the team want this to be a long-term scam, like it's a long-term con, right? Because if you look at the Bitcoin itself, Satoshi Nakamoto mined 1.1 billion from 2009 up until a certain period, I think about 6 months. And those Bitcoins, they have never been moved. The day those Bitcoins that Satoshi Nakamoto mined are moved, it's going to send shockwaves throughout the crypto market. But we do know that he's got those Bitcoins. We know the addresses of those Bitcoins. But in BTC20, this is where the scam is. We don't know how many tokens the team has, but it's in the millions, right? That's the risk that you carry. So the next thing you need to look at, of course, that we spoke of, adoption, right? And the next thing is value proposition. The value proposition is what the project is offering. Like, what are they offering? Is it something that, how are they different from other crypto projects? Is it something that is driving adoption? What conversations are investors having in the Telegram groups, right? And so on. And you need to see the future growth. So it also comes with, are the people behind the project doxed? Are they not doxed? And all of that, right? You need to know all of those things. And of course, the last one is don't stake unless you have secured your initial investment. So of course, this list is going to continue to grow on and on and on as we learn more about BTC20. As it is, time moves on, we are going to be adding more rules. But so far, with these pre-sales, because I've become interested into these pre-sales, it's an economy that is actually quite fascinating. A lot of people are making money from these pre-sales, but also a lot of people are getting wrecked, right? So I'm developing these rules for myself to just ensure that when I decide to invest even in BTC20, right, I have certain rules and certain principles and metrics that I'm going to check to help me to actually reduce my risk as much as possible, right? So this is something that I just wanted to share with you. Just let me know, is this valuable for you, right? And what do you think about BTC20, right? I know a lot of you have made a lot of profits into this one. Unfortunately, a lot of you as well have not been able to claim your tokens, possibly blacklisting of wallets has occurred, right? So these are some of the reasons why I say you should never ever buy in the pre-sale, right? Because think about it. The price is at $1 right now, right? The price went as low as 64 cents. So chances are the price of a token is always going to go low after launch, right? It's only very seldom that you see a project continuously pump after launch, right? So this is something I wanted to share with you for today. Let me know what you think down in the description. If you want me to evaluate any token, right, of your choice, consider joining our membership on this channel, Net Crypto. You help to support the channel, right? And you get a membership badge. And every time that you ask me to actually review a token, right, I'm going to be doing that within 48 hours. Consider the token has nothing to do with something that is illegal, something to do with sexuality, porn, and any sort of things like that, right? So join the membership, support the channel, right? Of course, no obligation, right? But you can still ask me to review a project of your choice. Even if you're not a member, I'll do my best to get to it. So this is something I wanted to share with you. Let me know what you think. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.